You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and now streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for... Tonight's host is John Joining John will be AFTERBUZZ co-hosts Stewart Lill and Phil Svitek. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 347-855-8269. That's 347-855-8269. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, John
Welcome, everybody, to another AFTERBUZZ, the first edition of Justified.
Yeah, Rich, our announcer, couldn't get us the title in time, so we piecemealed that together. And we were supposed to go on and say Justified, but we forgot.
Yeah, we blew that royally. Let's hope that doesn't continue.
I blame it on Stu.
Sorry,
Yes.
Stu.
By the way, I just want to thank our AFTERBUZZ TV band. You guys are the greatest, and I love that theme song every time we cue in.
Oh,
and
nice.
But they're the great. We'll never show the band leader though. He's not
Very shy.
He's very shy.
Not very
That's right.
telegenic.
They get the hell out of here as soon as
That's right.
we get cued on air. But great group of guys. I hope we can bring them on sometime.
Maybe.
We perhaps in our Ask the Manager edition of AFTERBUZZ TV, followed by our Charlie Sheen edition.
Oh yeah, excellent.
We are working on a Charlie, our own Maria Menounos. She can get Charlie Sheen in here. She just has been away on the road, and so that is why we
Okay.
haven't.
Well, something to look forward to.
Indeed. Well,
We need to bring him back. He's 2 days straight now. I haven't seen him on the news.
I know.
He's
So
completely vanished.
we just brought him up.
Good. Okay, yeah.
There you go. He's
That's
back.
that's an
And so
exclusive.
that's gonna bring
That
it
is an
back.
exclusive.
That's right. Bring it right back
No?
into the news.
No
No,
exclusive.
AFTERBUZZ TV exclusive.
That's right. Charlie Sheen, wherever you are missed. Because we want you winning. But I will say this. John
Yes.
didn't want to host. Or
No.
it's...
I had no idea was hosting.
Okay, so I will take the reins. I apologize because so what seems to be happening is all of the people at AFTERBUZZ think it's a requirement to be on the shows. And so I will do my best with Justified. This is my first episode. And what I'm going to really start doing is not hosting shows that I don't know because our fans deserve better.
They do.
They really do. But anyways, I will take the reins, and you can send your hate mail to me at info@AFTERBUZZ.TV. I'll prefer suggestions.
I
if
look forward to
anything.
reading that on the air.
So that'll be fun. As always, we've got. What are you doing, John? We got our.
I thought we might be talking about it. So
We can. Well, one of the things for those of you in Radio Land, as we like to refer to, we're watching the TV show on our screen muted, so we get to reference it every now and then. For those of you on Ustream, you get to see it. So. And by the way, the opening theme.
Is this illegal, by the way? That we're giving everyone. I mean,
legal.
Illegal? Yeah, totally.
Define legal.
Why? We're promoting their show. I'd be upset too, Stu. If you said, no, come
Well,
on.
someone could just tune in and watch the entire episode without actually having cable.
Can't they do that anyway?
Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
No, because the camera's on me right now.
Oh, okay. So,
So
if we
you
just
can't see
we
the
chop it up.
show right
Okay,
now.
Gotcha.
And B, it's on mute.
Okay. I shouldn't bring this up on the air. I don't want lawyers digging into our
They're
company.
Because they're not, Stu. In fact, we've had showrunners. The reason why we did Human Target was because Elizabeth Kiernan, one of our people who does Glee, she also works on Human Target as the writer's assistant, and he said to her, wait, you do Glee and you don't do our show? Let's go. What are you doing? And so they called in, the writers called in for their show. They had the whole Human Target crew here, the writer's assistants, and they did our Human Target show. So, and what showrunners love us, Stu.
And then you...
But this is clearly, like, I'm trying to get the Justified,
Yeah.
but you just
I
won't
know.
let me get there.
But I'm just saying, this is like the equivalent of like Russian movie piracy where where there's a camera on like a movie
Stu,
screen.
you know what?
and-
You know what, Stu?
This is Stu's first and last video appearance here at AfterBuzz TV.
It's like, who invited him?
I know. By the way, okay, so if we're off on this tangent, I'm just gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as possible and then get into Justified. But Stu, let's talk about your appearance.
Oh, okay. Yes, Phil.
I love how you.
You
Camera
did,
ready.
you did tell him it was video.
I
right?
did tell him. Stu thinks Camera Ready is coming in flip flops, typing on his computer.
Not typing. Can't see my flip flops.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Stu does a bunch of our other shows like Southland, Californication, and Big Love. And he does Big Love and Californication with our own Kevin Undergaro. And when Kevin speaks certain points, Stu, being a wannabe writer, takes the notes down because he thinks he can't. There's no way of recalling this information ever
Words
again.
are gold, Phil. I have to take them down then.
He's just diligent.
Yes, and I would buy that
But I'm
if you could
inspired.
download the podcast.
But I'm inspired right then and there. It's an epiphany every time I'm with Kevin.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to practice that.
Justified.
Anyway, yes, Justified.
I think his taking notes is justified. Speaking of justified,
Thank you.
let's get right into this.
Yeah. Well, for one of the things that I want to start with is the theme song. I liked it a lot,
Yeah.
and our own DJ Jesse. He's a DJ, loves music. That's why we
Yes,
call him that.
Absolutely.
He didn't know the genre of this music, and I'm kind of disappointed. Pipe in when you're ready, Jesse. No? It's called Gangster Grass, as Stu found.
Gangsta.
Gangsta.
Gangsta grass.
Gangsta grass.
Yes.
There
it
we
is.
go.
There, you're nice.
I mean, I called it country rap, but
Mhm.
I gotta say, it's very justified.
Yeah.
It's got that. Oh boy, I'm blanking here. A banjo. It's got the.
Oh.
I think it's a banjo going on.
Yeah, that would be.
He's got all kinds of things in
Yeah.
there.
And you know, since I slacked on this, every week I'll bring you a different.
Genre of music.
No, well, not a different genre. I'm going to give you a different song from
Gangsta grass.
Gangsta Grass
Nice,
every week,
okay.
all right?
So a different sampling of
I'm gonna-
Gangsta grass every week.
Yeah,
That
I'll
would
do-
be
I'll
good.
do
We
my
appreciate
research.
that. Way to go.
We'll look forward to that.
Mhm.
Okay.
But back at the episode, okay, for some reason, Stu was confused by the interrogation.
Yeah,
Oh.
the interrogation while they were in the marshal's office and they were interrogating Boyd. For those who didn't see it last week, Boyd was caught up in a robbery, basically, of the mine. They were at he works at the mine, and so these other guys had befriended him and said, "Hey, we're going to steal money from the mine," and they basically coerced him into helping them. But his plan all along was to ensure that he didn't get killed by them, and instead, not only would he not get killed by them, but he would turn the tables on them, and they would end up being killed, so that he could get out from under having to deal with them or having to being killed by them. And it turned out it worked out all well for everybody. But in return, he ended up taking some money from the mine, and he gave it to Eva, the woman in the scene.
Right.
Who he's living with at the moment, not as a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything like that, but he's living in the same house with her, and he knew they were going to take the house from her because she was behind in her payments, so he took some of the money and gave it to her so she could keep her house. And he was basically telling her, you can either tell the cops on me or not. Either way, I'll understand. And so she chose not to tell the cops, and so they were being interrogated about the robbery, about the killings, and where the money is.
And Boyd mentioned to Raylan, like just right after that, saying,
Yeah.
you know a little something about what helping out or
Yeah.
or
Because he used to be the boyfriend of Eva.
right. Oh
For-
wait,
for
Raylan
a
for
second.
Eva?
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Raylan and Eva were hooking up for a while
Okay,
until that went south. Pardon the pun.
gotcha.
And he ended up starting to see his ex-wife again.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's,
And by the way, Boyd is the brother of Eva's husband, her former husband, who is dead now.
oh,
so
just that
that's
that Tennessee or that Kentucky the Kentucky bloodlines
John,
are
you
pretty
gotta-
crazy.
We
Exactly.
need a diagram next time,
Yeah, I
so
know,
then
I'll
we
get that
can
figured out
point
for
to
you.
the things.
Regardless, Boyd's a great character, and so it was a little disappointing not to see more of him. I just love his manner. I mean, his great acting. He's so quiet, and he's got this great tone in his voice, and he just really eats up the dialogue.
Is he still a man of God? Because the last time,
Well, here's the thing.
yeah.
He was trying to turn his life around because he's really been He's been a bad guy. He's
Yeah.
always stealing, hurting, killing people, all that kind of stuff. And he's turned his life around to God, and he'd surrendered to God and everything like that. And he tried that path, and apparently it did not work out for him because, first of all, nobody believed the conversion. So
Right,
anytime anything went wrong, they always thought Boyd was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew that if there was a bomb blast at a mine shaft, they knew they'd come looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the reason why the three guys that eventually got killed in that mine blast came after Boyd or wanted his help was because they needed a powder man.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knew that no matter what goes down here, I'm going to get blamed for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he found a way to get out of it without, as I mentioned earlier, without dying and implicating somebody else
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Well, speaking, I also just wanted to take a step. Let's take a step back of why we're doing Justified, because your passion showed through in that regard.
Yeah,
and the way you spoke about it. And
yeah.
John, tell us the story of why we are actually covering Justified.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I just saw this a couple of weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, I started watching this. Somebody had told me, "Yeah, you got to see this." And I like Timothy Oliphant first of all to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed the movies he's done, and I just enjoy his acting. And then I found out it was based on an Elmore Leonard book.
Mm.
So, and he always writes great characters. He's got great dialogue, and the stories are really compelling. So I figured, oh well, this has got to be pretty good. And I just found out from Jesse that 22. Is it 22?
It was 22 of his books were turned into movies and 2 into TV series.
I mean,
and
that's
tons of that we all know.
pretty impressive.
Is that more than Stephen King?
I don't know. That's a great question. But we'll see if Jesse can figure that out for us. But anyway, so it had all that going with it. And then I just heard really good, interesting things about it. And then the first one I saw, as you can see from this, this is a whole world I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not really familiar with Harlan County or the goings-on. And you didn't see it as much in this particular episode, but when you see, seen a few of the others, it's just a whole world I've never seen, I've never heard. I was fascinated by it. I thought the dialogue was amazing, and the casting is incredible. I mean, everybody they got, you just go, yeah, okay, I believe that. I believe that one. They just seem like these people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the job is terrific all around.
Well, that's when John approached me and said we should do one. And then I sent out an email to all my hosts, and I said, anyone interested? And Stu came in. And Stu, what draws you to the show?
Timothy, main character who plays Raylan, actually. I've seen him in Damages. I saw him in Deadwood.
Mm-hmm.
And I love his I love his acting. I loved him in those 2 series. And then about 4 weeks ago, too, I started watching it, season 1.
Yeah.
And I saw a trailer, which was the opening of the series that just set everything in motion, was when Raylan was in Miami, and that's where he came from, and he just went up and shot a guy, made him pull first, whatever. I thought it was it just pulled me right into the series. Yeah. But I mean, I'm jumping ahead way far because I'm still like mindset of episode 2, season 1. So a lot of things have obviously changed. Some things I saw coming, some things I didn't. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a different world. You don't typically see cop shows that are out of the city, but in a small town atmosphere. And I mean, he's playing like a 19th, 18th century marshal in like a 21st century world, and it's really, I love the combination of
the juxtapositions are great because they have all this high tech stuff. Not that they really use it because they don't.
Yeah.
But it really feels like an old western, but there's a modern sensibility to it that it's just a great mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's by his desk. He has that poster behind him, and it's very much like you would see at a salon of like wanted. You know what I mean? It's very western, and that made me chuckle.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And just the fact Stephen King actually has roughly about 80 of his books turned into movies and TVs.
What a jerk.
Share the wealth, jeez.
He had a pretty good speech this week regarding regarding everything that's going on in like Wisconsin and Florida and unions.
Mm-hmm.
But so he I know he's not a jerk per se, but I am jealous of Stephen King. But anyway, where were we?
Well, the man's got, you can't argue, he's got talent.
He has got talent.
Yeah.
And you know what?
He's a brilliant man.
He will be the first to admit his work is not genius, but, entertaining. Anyway.
I think he has some genius stuff.
I agree, but he won't agree.
Okay, that's true. He's very humble.
He is indeed. So we obviously get the interrogation, and then we're taken to the opening credits, which we love the gangsta grass.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, is not a genre of music, as I just found out. is the name of the artist who performs the song.
I think it still
Stu.
could be a genre. I think it could be called a
Stu, you
considered
made
a
me feel
genre.
bad, and I
Jesse,
promised
why
all these
would you
people
stir
and-
that up, Mr. Musical Genius?
Well, because I've never heard of the artist Gangsta Grass.
Oh, well,
Nice. Okay.
need to get their records.
All right.
AfterBuzz. AfterBuzz needs to start doing research. We don't know music. We don't know. Come on.
We don't know how many books have been turned into movies. We have to.
Exactly. This is
Terrible.
This is
We can't even get our cue right to say the title of the show.
I know.
This
I know.
is weird.
It's terrible.
Ragtag.
Why is your name bleeped out, by the way?
It's offensive to the FCC.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought John does our Beyond Scared Straight edition, and it was because you didn't want people associating you or with the things you said. And so we blurped out your name. But now I think people, I mean, if your name ever leaks, they'll kind of get the connection.
You think?
I mean, it's put 2 and 2 together. It's justified.
Speaking of which,
Okay. So we end up at the house. There's an argument because of the collateral is the house because he bought a horse.
he
winning horse.
used the house as collateral to buy a horse.
That's like really.
Yeah, but it's a show horse.
So what do you mean? It's a show horse.
Well, so a show horse would be much more expensive and desirable by other buyers. So he's looking at it as an investment, not just a workhorse. It's not a workhorse.
So, but is it like it still races, right? Is that or what does a show horse do? Like
Well,
it shows up, like right? They do they don't necessarily race, but they do the tricks and things like that.
Not really being from the equestrian world, I'm not exactly sure what a show horse does, but I can only imagine that if it's I think he said show horse, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it does, like, I don't know, like dog show stuff, but with horses, I guess either that or is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not
I don't
it's
know.
not like the horse track. It's the one where they're jumping over.
Right.
I don't know.
They're the ones that do the tricks.
Yes. I don't know. For me, unless you really, really have the money and can blow it, don't really put your money on horses. Not for me.
You don't
Please
bet on the horses, huh?
No, I really don't.
All right, well,
And,
wouldn't either.
and certainly not enough to put a house down as collateral.
No, I don't think that would be a wise choice, which I think is why she was all upset. So, and rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love how in his mind it's justified. Of like, just let me explain. It's a show horse.
Yeah.
Like, are you out of your mind?
Yep.
Is he out of his mind?
I don't know enough about that world. I just love that the fact that he put up his house for collaterals. It's like, why would you do that? I don't care how good the horse is.
But like, John, you're an actor. Like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, obviously, when you're an actor, you want to occupy the space of the character you're playing, and so in his mind,
Yeah.
this is totally justified.
Of course, yes. In his mind, it is absolutely.
But how do you prepare for that? Of like actually thinking like, yeah, you know what, putting up a house for a
That's
horse.
good idea. Well, I imagine you, as an actor, you'd have to do your research and go, oh, okay, this is what these kinds of horses do, and that they're worth quarters of millions of dollars.
Well, yeah, there's something greater to be had in there.
So
No, I want to like what is that investment? Like how much are we talking? Like you're the percentage you retain is in the millions, versus your house.
I can't say it any other way.
Stu.
I don't know enough about horses.
I know it's not goji juice, where it's a
Goji?
pyramid scheme, but I don't know. I guess they just have a whole set of different values over there, and I don't know what you can bank at a horse show. I don't know what money you get out of it from.
Well, if you think just when they used the horse for what do they call that?
Glue?
No, not
I don't know.
animal husbandry, when they're
Oh,
they're
yeah,
selling
the-
seed and all
yeah.
that other stuff. They
Right.
get 10,000 a shot or whatever those things are for. So I mean, who knows? I mean, they could be making a lot of money for you. I don't know.
I also didn't. I mean, I was going to ask if because obviously they've split. Greg, Gary, and Winona. So I didn't know if this was out of spite or something. I mean,
Well, he's trying to win her back by selling the house, but
okay.
he wants her to divorce her. This is his plan. I
Uh-huh.
want to win you back, but we need a divorce first because our house is underwater, meaning they owe more than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're both on the hook for that, that's going to ruin you financially.
Mm-hmm.
So divorce me, I'll take the hit for it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, what he was also doing, apparently, is putting the house up, whatever collateral is left. I don't know how you have collateral on the house if you owe more than it's worth. But let's just say
It's a weird banking system.
It is
in this country.
so you have no equity in it. But let's just say he does it. But that's part of his plan to get out from under all this burden that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she's freaked out because, for obvious reasons, like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that was about.
Okay.
So yeah, they split up, but he's trying to get back together with her.
Yeah.
Well, at least that makes sense. That in his mind, he could justify that. Whereas the answer you were giving before was just, I don't know.
Well, because I didn't know. But I think we should start a drinking game. Every time Phil says justify or justified, we should start drinking.
Well, it's just you know what? I commend these shows for picking those one-word titles that describe the show, like Shameless.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What those people
Nice.
do is so shameless.
Yeah,
There's
you-
no
you-
better word
You know what
of
you're getting
description.
into. You know what you're getting into.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so kudos.
Duly
to
noted. Duly noted.
Duly noted.
Then we go to the evidence room,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have the key to the cage.
Mm-mm.
By the way, very underwhelming evidence room. Or no, I don't know. I don't know.
Again, I'm not familiar with too many evidence rooms. It looked fine to me.
It seemed very disorganized. I don't know. The fact that it seemed like a janitor's closet, but with I don't know.
From what I know, these things aren't like the most well kept places. I mean, they're just.
And I'm comparing to Southland because Stu and I do,
Okay,
which
I don't
is
know
about
Southland,
cops
so.
in L.A.
Sure.
Mhm.
Clearly different, but that's my point of
But what was so
reference.
disorganized about it? They just,
I don't know.
They had lockers.
yeah, they had lockers and locked boxes.
Yeah.
I thought the only thing that was
They had
weird
like
about
cubby
it
holes.
was so lax about it. Here, take the keys.
Yeah,
Reception's horrible. Here, go ahead, do whatever you need to. But then she works. I think she works for the prosecuting. She works for the prosecutor office. Something. I can't remember what she does.
Yeah.
But they obviously know her. She's in those circles. So why would you wouldn't give those keys to somebody you didn't trust? So she has to be working in those circles to some degree.
Yeah.
But you still give those keys.
You definitely wouldn't give that to a defense attorney.
Nah, I don't think so. That would probably not be a good
But
idea.
I would hold the same standards for a prosecutor
But
as well.
the strangest thing was, okay, Raylan, who is a marshal,
Yeah.
doesn't have a key to that room.
Yeah.
This guy, because apparently he can't.
Right.
But here, I'll give you mine, and
Yeah.
he gives it to some woman. So I can't give it to the marshal for him to get in, but I can give it to her.
So it's not
Mhm.
That's-
justified.
No, that was not
Okay.
justified at all. That didn't make sense.
Can we
but,
get some
you know.
beers in here? For the,
Well, we do. Stu was sipping on our beers from last night's St. Patty's Day celebration.
Yes.
So we had a few leftover green ones.
And we're happy to see that Phil's in fine working order this
I was.
Wasn't
it
this
took
morning,
some
but this
doing.
afternoon, nice to
Yeah,
see
it
you
took
back.
some
yeah,
doing.
somebody wasn't
Nice to
answering
see
my
you.
calls up until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, what can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
not much this
overserved.
morning, that's for sure.
I got overserved.
Yes, you did.
Anyway,
But
so
you get a good feeling for their relationship. Those guys. I thought that what they did nicely in this particular episode between the two of them, Raylan and Winona, is you see their history. Even though they don't say much, you can see their history, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
And they really did a great job of withholding the issue that they have to deal with. So it carried through the whole movie. Because even at the end, not the movie, but even at the end of the episode, he says, we have to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're continuing to keep that thread running through all the episodes, which is great because they're really being stingy about giving you information.
yeah, they as they walked into the evidence room, they kind of had their generic conversation.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a writer, you tend to avoid that stuff. But they really turned it on a dime when she wants an answer from him, and sort of the truth comes out, like, I don't have a key.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's where it took like the greater turn of like now they have to get something, but obviously there was a huge subtext
Mhm.
to what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm not articulating that as well
which
as I should,
which
but
was talking about having a kid or something, and that seemed you said withholding, but that I see that was really forward.
Oh well, that's from another. So what I'm talking about, they're talking about stuff that isn't really the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, you aren't really aware of that because you hadn't seen previous
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I think what they really need to be talking about is something else. So and that's what they still haven't talked about.
Okay.
well, the sad
Okay.
truth is no anyone in life we never fully say what we mean, and so therefore there's always.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I wish I knew. See, I don't know.
Okay.
There's always a subtext,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., the subconscious mind.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna learn you.
Okay.
And in this scene, we get the sort of inciting incident for a greater scheme.
Yep.
Which is she takes the money.
Sees the money, takes some.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna obviously will predict what's gonna happen with all of this. But in the short term, it leads her to go to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And the incident. And would you say this was the inciting incident of this episode? Bank robbery or no? Or is that just an act?
No, that had to be taking the money, right?
Yeah. She
Okay.
doesn't take the money.
That's what
there's
drove
no
everything
show.
forward.
Yeah. She can go to the bank, but if she didn't have the money when she went to the bank, there's no
Okay.
show.
Glad you guys disagree.
Okay.
So
Wait a
she
minute,
goes.
no, we just agreed, didn't
Yeah.
we? Didn't he? We
Yeah, but you
agreed.
disagreed with me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the point, I guess.
So we go to the bank, and ironically, she's hesitant to go there, and she's about to leave, and that's when
All hell breaks loose.
yeah. So quite unfortunate. If she had just gone
Yeah.
2 seconds sooner, she would have made
It's
it
a
out.
game of inches.
It is, very Alfred Hitchcockian, where of like, okay, I could have gone left today, but I should have gone right, and everything would have been okay.
By the way, that's what kind of interests me about this series is how, when I first watched it, I actually was getting into it expecting a plot line with Boyd, just Boyd basically to last the entire series or season, and then it turns into different criminals each episode. I just thought that was interesting, considering you don't typically think of really highly charged crimes. With coal mines blowing up and bazooka. That was in season 1, but bazookas blowing up churches and bank robberies, and I mean it's a lot. It's a lot for one little town. And
There's a lot going on down there. It's like, wow.
Well, it's always funny. Like you sort of look back on all these shows, like Desperate Housewives. Like if you put on paper, like everything that this street deals with, like murders, rapists. Like, oh my God.
It's the last place in America you want to live is on.
Yeah.
Wisteria
Wisteria Lane.
Lane.
Yeah,
crying out
Wisteria
loud.
over at Universal.
So, TV is like life.
Yeah.
It is not
Oh yes.
exactly like
Right, I
So.
agree.
But let's talk about the bank robbery in that case.
Yeah.
I love how you guys pointed out this guy's air tank, Frank.
Yeah.
As we later learned.
It was their tank.
Very for me, I thought like, oh my, I thought my mind went to No Country of Old Men, where this was his weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Versus his necessity.
Yeah, right. And that's what you said. I casually mentioned that he was using it to breathe.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, so interesting how that this is the ringleader of this whole thing.
Yeah, and again, I haven't read. I don't remember if I've read an Elmore Leonard book, so I can't really speak to that. But usually in the movies that are made from his
Adapted.
books, yes, thank you. They've always got these things. It's very because you don't usually see a bank robber wheeling around an air tank and sucking off of it. You just don't usually see that.
Yeah.
And he's the ringleader, so to speak. So I just kind of find that interesting.
And then but they did eventually. I mean, but they did deepen his character. I mean, you saw he came from. Obviously with that witness or woman who knew him, apparently he became a good guy. But before that, when he did.
That was his wife, by the way.
Oh, that was his wife.
That
Okay,
was his
I missed
wife.
that part.
And he'd been in prison for 30 years.
Right, yeah, he'd been in prison, but but he definitely came from a darker place when he put the gun up to the other bank robbers.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But that was all a ruse, because he was just doing that to get them to rob the bank so he could take his getaway.
Mm-hmm.
So he did. So I don't know if that was really him or he was just doing that to make that.
But he wasn't running. But he wasn't flying off in the distance to go back to his wife.
He was
flying
flying
off to
to
get
go
blowjobs.
to get Mexico.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he didn't love her.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. That was.
Yeah, I mean
We're not
he
at that
opened up.
point.
I love my wife.
Yeah.
That was the opening bit of
No,
that
but-
conversation at the end.
But here's the other thing. I mean, he might have. I mean, it could be. And again, this is why I thought this was hysterical. he loves his wife, and I believed that. I bought that. I also thought if he loved him, I get why he would want to leave, not just for the hookers in Mexico or anything like that, but I don't want her to have to live through me dying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that's gonna be a painful death for her.
Yeah.
To watch that and to have to deal with that, and if he really did love her, I get why he would say, you know what, I don't think she needs this.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Yeah. Women tend to appreciate that sometimes when they have a late divorce. It crushes them, but at the same time, they're like, well, now I don't have to take care of his ass.
exactly.
And
Experience in this field?
Plus the blowjobs did.
yeah. I've heard a first-hand account of such a explanation. Yeah, but
Okay.
So I would think although she seemed to deeply love him, I think she would have taken him either way. But
Oh yeah, she would have done it.
yeah,
She would have easily taken care of him and all kinds of things. I think that was clear. But I get why he would do.
They
that.
have Skype. They have webcam.
That's-
so they can keep up a relationship from across the border.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's international too, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got,
I mean,
they got that going for 'em.
I was surprised by his intelligence. I mean, back
Because
in
all
the-
old people are stupid, or
no, just
That's the first
criminals
old man.
for the most part,
okay,
in
yeah.
my mind. You know,
yeah.
I mean, this guy had a whole intelligence of when they're in the motel before I forget Bobby Green's friend, as he's mainly referred to, so I don't know his name. But Wayne. So when Wayne is strapping on the flares, as we find out eventually, not dynamite,
The bombs.
he played that to a T.
Yeah, he played it great.
You know,
Faked the heart attack and the whole thing.
yeah,
And that's what I think. That takes some guts. I mean, because we don't know as an audience, we didn't know at the time, but he's got a gun. He fakes a heart attack. His gun is taken away at any moment. That guy could have popped him right then. Wayne's already proven that he'll just shoot a guy for moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, whoa, if he really faked all that, how did he know that he wasn't going to get shot or killed right then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a risk you gotta take, I
Yeah.
guess. But I guess he just Bobby Green is that what you said his name was?
Bobby Green
Green's
was
the
the
front.
smart one.
Right, the good
of
guy.
two,
Yeah.
the-
I guess you just knew that would because he kind of seemed to be sort of always keeping that guy at check.
Yeah.
So I guess he just depended on that and rolled with it, and it came out in his
yeah,
favor.
yeah, exactly.
it did. It really worked out for him.
Yeah, but speaking to the intelligence thing, he had a plan within a plan within a plan.
This is like breaking down Inception.
Exactly. It was great. No, because he said one thing. I got to get the cops off my back, so I'm going to tell him I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory and meet me here at this bridge. So he got all the cops out of the way. The rest of the cops who were sticking around, he got them out of the way by dropping a dime and saying Bobby Green and Wayne are over at Versailles, as they called it, Versailles, robbing a bank.
Yeah.
So he got everybody out of the way so he can make his getaway.
No, the one thing I would have liked to known when I'm going to just call him our man, sees the flight simulator program. I would have liked to sort of have an oh wow moment.
You mean the marshal when he sees it on the camera? When he sees it when he's watching the computer and he's
yeah.
Well, you didn't see his moment?
I saw his aha moment, but I didn't realize what it was about.
Yeah, but I think that was specific because because he looked at it, he saw it, and then he looked to see that there was nobody in his office, which means I'm gonna have to go do this.
Yeah, but I didn't realize I don't know. You guys could tell that was his sort of master plan where he was gonna catch a flight.
I only got that just because I recognized it was a flight simulator. I knew what flight simulators you're.
What I recognized was because they held that camera held on the flight simulator as he left left the frame. You could see the flight simulator on the on the computer. So I knew right there. Okay, that's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
I
just
knew
trusted that they were gonna.
And they explained it fairly well. But I would.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but when Raylan was first talking to his wife about this is after the robbery, and she's touching up her or mending to or tending to her cut. She asks, "Do you know anybody about who was involved in the robberies?" And Raylan says, "Yeah, he did," meaning his boss.
Mm-hmm.
He recognized the old guy. He used to fly planes, etc.
He said that.
Yeah, he did.
I missed that. Okay.
In that there. So when it came back there on the computer, he's trying to get away.
that was the moment I was talking about of missing, but clearly I missed it.
That because you thought it was a generic conversation between two people, and it was, but it was about planes.
Yeah. Okay. So I must have zoned out or something.
Yeah.
Because.
But that's
then
when,
again.
that's
So
when
there you go. The episode was perfect for me. That was my only pet peeve, and apparently it's non-existent because they did it.
But
I
it
just
was,
happened to
but it's
miss it.
interesting that you say that because when they first started talking about planes, I was like, what, and it looks like they're just talking about the old geezer, and yeah, he used to fly planes. But you know that they never say, they don't usually 98% of the time the stuff they're saying isn't just for nothing. So when I saw the flight simulator, I think, that's why they were talking about planes.
Yeah. If a gun goes off in Act 3, it must be written in Act 1 in a subtle way.
Oh, okay.
No, all right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So you taking notes?
No taken.
No notes taken. We haven't said anything profound yet. I think that's a problem.
Oh, Stu, that's
Inspire me, Phil.
that's this.
Inspire.
Well, Stu, why don't you inspire us by talking about if you had to write on paper the slowest chase in the history of TV and movies, how would you write it?
I would give one guy an oxygen tank, and then I would make the other guy a former smoker.
Yeah.
And then one would be running to a plane, right?
Right.
And then so he's got to ditch it because the oxygen tank will blow up if he shoots
Like
it.
Jaws.
Even though that was proven wrong by
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters. So Mythbusters can call in, and that's my pet peeve.
Yeah, but he might not have seen that episode of Mythbusters.
Oh, okay.
He
that's
was
true.
been in prison
He's been
for
in
30 years.
prison,
So.
but he does know how to use a webcam. Kind of.
But you don't have. I don't think he has a prison webcam where he was.
I don't know. But then he would collapse at the plane, and then he would talk about going to Mexico. And
By the way, I will say this.
it's all original. It's all Stewart from the mind.
From the mind of Stewart.
Yeah.
Well, in many ways, I do think you, not necessarily the chase, but the lines they were saying was very reminiscent of Mr. Majestic.
Yeah. I think that is
with
Elmer
Bronson,
Leonard,
right?
Yeah, Bronson.
For those of you, it's an
I
older.
think that is an Elmore Leonard.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't. Jess, can you look that up for us?
It's Mr. Majestic. Majestic spelled in a weird
It
way.
is written by him.
M-A-J-E-S-T.
That is one of
There
them.
you go.
So okay, so kudos to me. Awesome.
Kudos to me for
This is
recognizing
why I
that.
host this show.
See, this is why you
Because I
should.
bring in information.
Your hosting is justified.
It is. But Stu, you have no idea what the hell Mr. Majestic is, do you?
No,
You know, I've never seen that. It's classic.
that's not the one with Jim Carrey. I know that.
No, it's not.
No, that's the Majestic. This is Mr. Majestic,
Oh.
Yes.
and it's Charles Bronson. He just wants to plant his melons.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
all he wants to do. And him and the bad guy sort of end up together, and they're in this rinky-dink place, down on the ground and just talking. And Charles Bronson is proposed this: hey, we could go to L.A. tonight, go to Mexico, be in Mexico by tomorrow, bathing and getting laid. And in many ways, it's very reminiscent of what the Marshal says to Frank. But in the movie, Mr. Majestic, as his name is, Charles Bronson, he says, I've been to L.A., I've been to Mexico, and I've been laid. I just want to do my watermelons.
Yep.
So everyone should go see that movie.
Yep, it's a good movie. But I love that, Jason. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
I just thought that was great.
Yeah,
And here's the thing: the part of it that I thought was great. He goes, he's got bad knees. He doesn't want to chase him. Oh, come on! He has to chase this old man, and then he goes back for the air tank because it's an old man, and he doesn't. He knows the guy's gonna need his oxygen. I mean, that's Southern hospitality. Come on, seriously,
it really is.
Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And the
It's
music,
amazing.
the music for me, the music
Yeah, the
is what
music was
really sold
great.
it. Like,
Yeah, it
I
was
don't-
terrific.
yeah, I wonder if that was by Gangsta Grass,
Yeah,
the
Gangsta
genre
Grass, yeah.
versus
It's a genre and a band.
Yeah.
It's two things.
it should be.
That was funny. Just really enjoyed that. Then I liked at the end when he said the whole thing about smoking, then he digs in to get his own chaw.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that was in nicotine. Not nicotine. What am I thinking? Nicorette.
no,
No.
that wasn't
Oh,
Nicorette.
oh,
That
okay.
was tobacco.
Oh, okay.
So he's.
I didn't see him do the pinch out of
Yeah,
the.
he did the pinch and the
Okay.
whole thing. It's ridiculous. Aren't you glad you gave up smoking?
Oh, that
Start
stuff's
spitting away.
nasty.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that was great. So, but I think this thing's full of moments. Every time I watch it, they're full of these little tiny moments, which to me are very Elmore Leonard-like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've enjoyed this, because it's really in keeping with what I know of Elmore Leonard. And I'm not saying that I'm an avid reader, but it's my experience of him based on the movies I've seen. So whatever they're doing, they're keeping that consistent.
So what movies have you? What movies have you seen of his? before we get
Out of
into-
Sight is one of my favorites. That Elmore that they converted, adapted, a better word. And Jesse, name off 10. I'm sure you've seen them all.
Well, Mr. Majestic apparently.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Majestic, 52 pickup. Valdez is coming. Stick, The Tall T, The Ambassador. Gold Coast, 310 to Yuma.
There you go.
Last Stand at Saber River. Get Shorty.
Yeah.
Kill Shot, Be Cool. Pronto, Hombre, Cat Chaser,
Wow.
Touch,
Yeah.
Glitz,
Hombre.
and Rum Punch and Jackie Brown.
See? So
Wow.
bunch of them. So
I like Jackie Brown. I thought that was. I guess I assumed that was written by Quentin.
he adapted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but the
Gotcha.
stories.
Interesting. Very well. Now you know. Now
Mhm.
you know. Now I know.
Mhm.
Anyway, so let's go back to sort of Winoma's money issue. And
Yeah,
they're the-
let me speak to that because it ties in with the Elmore Leonard thing, and just about every one of Elmore Leonard's things, and this is something I hold true to myself, true for the world. Dames is trouble. This is what I'm saying. Every one of his movies. If this dame didn't steal $100,
Mhm.
Raylan wouldn't be in the shitstorm he's gonna be in. But no, dames is trouble. They're always trouble.
They are. There's a great line from Double Indemnity. I did it for the money, and I did it for the girl.
Mhm.
I didn't get the money, and I didn't get the girl.
Yeah, see, dames is trouble, but they're
That's-
worth it, usually. That's it.
So,
that's
John,
all
you
I'm
have a
saying.
wife, though?
I do
Like,
have a
who-
wife, but she's worth it.
I feel a divorce.
So
coming
Elmore would
soon.
side with
Just
Ronnie.
kidding. Just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said I feel a divorce coming soon,
It's-
but I'm just kidding.
So Elmore would side with Ronnie on the Jersey Shore in the Sam Ronnie face-off.
I don't know if our viewers that watch Justified.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
are really-
Because you said that, and I went, I don't know what happened between them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I think we have some class wars here at AfterBuzz, and we have the reality section versus what Paul Ashton is spearheading the smart. Ooh, I'm Paul Ashton. I'm Australian. Clearly a terrible impersonation, but
Oh, it was spot on. Spot on.
but yeah, the snotty edition, and so far I'm the only one that has sort of bridged the gaps because I have to.
That's nice.
Um,
You are your
but yeah, don't
You're
bring in the
united.
Jersey Shore on this show. It's
It's not justified.
nobody cares.
Okay.
You know.
I brought on other shows and everyone was fine.
Bring up Mr. Majestic, if anything.
Yes.
Bring up things like that, not Ronnie
That's
and
not
Sam.
that's not on my bookcase, my bookshelf. I'm not-
Well, we gotta get there. But yes, back to the money.
Yeah,
thing.
so she steals this, or she takes this $100 bill or whatever, and it's because of this that he has to make sure that he gets there first to get that, and he has to go through all that money to get that one damn thing back, so she doesn't get.
Isn't that
fired
just
anymore.
romantic
It is romantic. He went through all that for her.
for his ex-wife, who he is still railing?
Still what?
Railing. That's what the kids say.
Really?
That's,
Oh no, I don't. Well, I would imagine at some point they're around. Yeah, they're sleeping together, and
cool.
it seems like they really want to get back together, but they have issues to overcome, which is
Dude,
what
did you
causes.
know
I
that?
don't know what's
causes
stopping them.
divorce.
That's that underlying issue.
Well, yeah,
that's-
the underlying issue, really, they kind of touched on it, is that she would like to have kids, but really what it is about is that she can't handle the fact that he's in the job that he's in and he's always in constant danger.
right.
Because she doesn't know every time if he leaves the house if he's ever going to come back.
Right.
And which I liked this episode for, because if he wasn't that kind of guy, she would be in really big shit right now, because he wouldn't have been able to save her out of this. So it's because of who he is and because of the job he has that he's able to save her. So she's going to have to come to terms with that. It's
it's
like,
the
oh,
double-edged sword.
that's right.
So, but she was gonna see if that money it was real for them, right? Not for their house. Now, how do you think Raylan would have reacted?
Well, that's what they said the next episode they
Yeah.
showed highlights from, and I'm sure that's what they're going to be dealing with, because they even mentioned that is like, haven't you ever taken any? And this
Yeah.
is what she poses that question
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him,
yeah.
and we get to find out what his code is, which is that in a lot of respects this show is also like a lot of film noirs. He has his own code that he lives by, and he, as far as I can tell, it's justified when you kill people. Hence the name of the show, but also he never steals. So certain things he holds to the letter of the law, and other things not so much.
That's spirit of the law.
Exactly. So, and those gray areas are wonderful. That makes for this great conflict.
Well, I have nothing to add apart from that, because a lot of everything that I have to say on this subject, obviously, I'm saving sort of more predictions because that's where it'll transpire with this money situation. Stu, do you have anything to add before we go to commercial on this subject?
No, I'm tapped out.
Stu, give it a little wink for our audiences, for the girls out there listening / seeing it.
Triple. That was the triple wink right there.
If you think
More
Stu's
like a blink.
outfit is cool,
Does it pop?
send Stu suggestions.
Yes.
Send me a shirt and I will wear it. Let's go with that one.
Oh, I can't wait to
That'd
see
be fair. I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna look in this one. We're gonna have a contest. Please send shirts. Email us at info@AfterBuzzTV, and we'll set you up so that way you can send Stu an amazing shirt, and he'll wear it.
Nothing's off limits. It's gotta be justifiable.
It's gotta be okay. And at the minute, the requirement is he has to have his junk covered up.
Yes,
So-
that is a requirement. Yeah.
So
I didn't know.
anything
I didn't know
else-
my pants were coming off too.
No, but
No, they're not.
A see-through shirt. I guess that's
Yeah,
all right. That's acceptable.
that is acceptable.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
If it wins, it wins.
As long as it's justified.
Yeah.
And that is the
you wear
word
that,
of the
we'll all be
day,
winning.
justified.
That's right.
And now, let's go to our justifiably amazing commercial.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call at 347-855-8269.
This television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Get in on the AfterBuzz. 347-855-8269.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
Listen on iTunes.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from?
Find us on Facebook.
Your husband or your best friend?
Follow us on Twitter.
But then she's trying to kill him, so it justifies it. I'm like, oh, now it makes sense.
And visit us at AfterBuzzTV.com.
The wig will come off. That wig come off, baby. Oh,
Boardwalk Empire. Desperate Housewives. Glee. Gossip Girl. Breaking Bad. Mad Men. True Blood. The Walking Dead. Big Love. Jersey Shore. The Oscars. Celebrity Rehab. The Emmys. If it's hot, you can bet we'll be buzzing about it.
And we're justifiably back.
Justifiably back.
Indeed. I was hoping we'd get our gangster grass music as we were coming in, but I was not privileged. Well, Jesse, why don't we go to our news and gossip for today?
AfterBuzz TV News.
So Walt Disney Studios has announced that they have acquired and are presently in development on a new picture called The Runner. The movie is a science fiction film in which Disney is collaborating with writer Dave Anthony, one of the writers of Justified. The story is set in 2027, centers on a man who travels back in time to visit Earth before and became not fit to live and attempts to change the past. The plot is decidedly non-Disney. It seems reasonable to consider it as a typical post-apocalyptic time travel plot.
Well, Disney owns everything. It'll be the Lexus of Disney.
So it's justified. Justified. All right. Onward.
Justified star Timothy Oliphant has insisted that the show's second season is better than the first. The actor told E! Online that filming the new episodes of the FX drama, quote, felt like getting another run at it. The show's better this year than last year, he claimed. Last year we had an opportunity to try a bunch of different stuff, and then we had this lovely opportunity to look at it and say, this stuff we liked, and this stuff we didn't like so much. He continued, we had the opportunity this year to focus on the things that we were really psyched about.
Well, I would hope that you would only grow. realize that the opposite of progress.
Well, it's nice that they took that opportunity.
Yeah, some people don't. It's very true. They get complacent. And you know what? So Stu, seeing season 1 to season 2, but only seeing a few episodes of season 1 and now season 2.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know a lot of things that have happened. I kind of wish you would go back to Miami. I don't know. I just love the cowboy in Miami.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. Just that first, the beginning of the pilot just really got me. But I like that he returned home, but I kind of want to go back to Miami. I think that was a calling.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna have
as long as it's
season
justified.
one.
As long as it's justified.
All right, and that's the AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for Justified, March 16th, 2011.
And then,
And then,
so Dexter, Miami, Justified, Miami, FX. Oh, well, Showtime, FX, whatever. Anyway, combine an episode, huh?
what is this, like Super Friends?
Dextified? What?
Yeah, and Raylan goes after Dexter. Combined shows, pretty. That's a case. It's a case for Raylan.
Why don't you pitch that?
Scalpel on.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Okay, you did that.
predictions.
All right, Stu. No one cares about your
So I was a
prediction.
little early on the predictions. I'm sorry.
So wait, is that your prediction that we're gonna get what did you call it? Jextered?
Dextified. I call it.
Dextified.
Yeah.
Dextified.
That's
okay.
that's one. My other one is considering what I've seen so far with coal mining explosions and RPGs and bank robberies. I hope I see a Dixie Mafia.
Oh yeah, they keep mentioning them, so I'm imagining.
They mentioned it.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know this was.
Oh, they're on their way.
Oh.
Have you seen the family that's taken over for the Crowders?
No.
Okay, well, see.
Okay.
This is why you will probably enjoy this season just as much as you did the first season, because once you see that family and what they do, and that's messed up. The mom of that, oh my God, the mom of that family took a ball peen hammer.
By the way, we're watching the slowest chase on Earth.
Here it is. Yeah, this will take a while. So while that's happening, the mama took a ball peen hammer to the hand of her son to teach him a lesson.
Oh.
It was just okay.
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was like, whoa. All right. And then right afterwards, okay. And what does he do? He goes crawling back to her and said, "Mama, I'm so sorry. I love you, Mama. I'm so sorry." He just had a hammer taken to his hand. "I'm so sorry, Mama." It's why I go, who are these people?
I know.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
Excellent.
Interesting. I didn't realize today's predictions would sort of go into the greater discussion of
Sorry,
the future
sorry.
of television.
Couldn't help it.
Well, we obviously know the money will be a big thing, and
Money will be a big thing.
it
But
will.
I'm looking forward. I'm just looking forward to that family in the Dixie Mafia coming after each other, because that's the two groups that are going to be colliding, and Raylan's going to be on
It'll be quite interesting. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me host, of all people.
Yeah. Well, I thought you did a fabulous job with the unbiased and
Well, I had
objective viewpoint.
I had good co-hosts, so keep tuning in. This was our first video show for Justified, and we hopefully will have more if DJ Jesse allows us. Thanks everyone.
For producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions, comments, or would like to host an AfterBuzz show of your own, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.